I am live. Hello, everyone. I hope you are well. It's Saturday evening. It's April the 25th, and I only planned this a few moments ago, a while ago, half hour, I don't know. And I didn't know why. And I do that a lot, but then I always know that there's a reason. And this will be so helpful for so many people, which is obviously why I'm doing it. And we've had events happening in our world, and today especially in the United States. And I had no awareness that that was happening, but this is going to help you and help us all and help me become authentic, because see, that's the thing that I'm always attempting to do with so many other people. I want you to know who you are. I want you to own yourself and become authentic. And we don't always know what that's going to be, because we can't know who we're going to become, but we're each meant to become someone. But when you don't allow yourself to evolve and expand and go to the next level of who you're meant to become, things don't go well. And so that's why I'm breaking protocol today, because I have to do this and send this out. I Earlier today I did a small channeling, which you will see. I put it up on my blog, like 14 minutes or something, because I knew I needed to talk about certain things and I had to change. And that's what I'm doing. So I'm going to be changing my business and everything in these next few days, because I'm becoming my authentic self. And it's the 25th, as I said, of April, but I'm going to read something to you that will help me talk about this. I did a post, I did several things a while ago. Actually, this entire week, I've posted so many things because I wanted you to understand how important you were to be in the world at this time. And the message that I received last year on this date, on the 25th, says, "We wanted you to succeed." And what that means is each person and our world, because that's the information that I received from Wilhelm for these past 37 years. But I also had trouble with believing myself, as you would have as well, because we all do, but also believing that I could have possibly done this. And you may be moving through that as well. There's nothing happening in your life or our world that's accidental. We just come to figure it out at different times in our lives and our development as an individual, but also as humans, because we are the ones who are manifesting our lives in the world, and we just do it in different ways, and we develop ways of accomplishing that. And my life was meant to accomplish that, was meant to give you something so that you could become this great person. That's the best way I could possibly say it. There would have been no other reason that my life turned out the way that it did, and no other reason for yours to turn out the way that it has, unless you had something that you were meant to offer, and probably at this time in our world. As I said, this is the 25th of April. I posted several things where I said I downloaded the order of the universe, and that's um, a little challenging for many of us to accept, including me, because that was never my intention. I just started receiving information in 1989. I had no clue it was going to heal my life and many others, and give me a philosophy that could change the world. Basically, could change your life for sure, because it causes you to know who you are and to ascend to a higher state of understanding. And then it gets us all to understand that there's order and in our universe, in our world, and it's energy. It's all energy. All we are is energy and consciousness. And we will form different ways of coming to understand that. And I was given a new way through Wilhelm. And this was the message that came through on April 25th of 2022. Because I've been struggling for years to get others to understand what we were moving through and how you can become who you're meant to be now, because that's the progression that we can take in our lives. So, April 25th, 2022. Everyone will believe us now, possibly even Roger. We have said you and your world are moving through a massive shift, and that we have given you everything you needed to know in 2012. Roger was in disbelief, as you might have been, about specific goals or dreams you've held for your life. You are alive now to fulfill them, not in spite of the conditions of your world, but because of them. What is happening in your world isn't random, and what we have given Roger all these years was not fantasy. We have we have been preparing you all for years, and some who have read us continuously have benefited, even if sometimes unknowingly. We didn't leave you there when we gave you your life operating instructions. We knew your transition would be complete. We asked Roger to read the message we gave you on this day in 2013. Reluctantly, he searched and he was surprised at what he found. Then we told him we have been doing this for a while. So, just for fun, go back to this date, the previous 4 years, and place those messages. You each are in the world to accomplish something of significance, but you have difficulty seeing beyond the chaos at times. And our work has always been to aid your vision and awakening. Roger has consistently underestimated his gift, which is why he is a wonderful teacher, so you can become your leader. We asked him to create a PDF so you might read the messages together and gain the benefit and gradual enlightenment, which always occurs. But witnessing it is so much more fun. And here's the PDF, and the last line says, "You will be fine." And that's what they wanted us all to know, because each person's lives has something within them that is meant to come about and is meant to evolve and cause them to live a great life, and it's going to be different for each of us. And when we hide from that, it makes things difficult in our lives and also in the world. And I doubted myself as well when I was told I had all this information that could help our world shift, especially in the United States. I said that couldn't possibly have happened. And then they kept showing me how I healed. And I'm 75 and I went through every difficult, challenging, horrible thing a human can have, and they healed. And it was because of this work. And then I was going a little bit nuts this week because I posted so many things because I wanted people to understand, because I can always feel the changes of the energies, because that's what everything is. Now, I didn't know I was going to develop a skill or ability or a gift where I could receive information that was completely organized with the world. And it was also difficult for others to understand and believe. And that's what this message says. And the PDF that you will read, because I'll post the entire thing, I actually put it up there. And you will see that over the years, I've been consistently receiving information about the changes that were happening in our world, and it's been going on for decades. And because this information is aligned with energetic shifts, I never studied astrology or astronomy, so it's you don't have to know that. No one does. But I was interpreting the energetic shifts that were occurring, which is why I was moving through mind body healing and a whole bit, which is what anyone can do. And it's difficult when you haven't seen something done before, and I hadn't seen this before. But you will read it all because I post it on my site, Any Advice for Today, and I'll give you the link so you can see it. Um, I posted so many things this week because I know there's no reason for any person to struggle or suffer. I've been given the information because the information is within you. What I did was create a way for you to access it, create a way for you to become who you're meant to be in this world, because all you have to do is look at the questions, answer the questions, and then move through your limitations. That's what we each do. But we do that individually, but we also do that as a society. Now, let me talk about what's happening today in the United States and why Wilhelm kept talking about the United States. Because when I was resistant to doing this work, I was doing something else that many of you might know. I was a vocal coach for many years, and then I kept being pulled away. Say, no, you have to change because you have something that's going to be so much more valuable for people. Something I've been doing since 1989 is collecting this information that turned into the first verified personal development system, consciousness raising system, and it's verified because it's been done over years, and that's why it works, and this is why I healed. But we also have cognitive dissonance. We all do. We can't accept certain things if we haven't seen it or experienced it or done it, and I've never seen this. I'd never seen anyone who had received information that was aligned over decades, and that's what's happened. And I spent so much time trying to find this. I used artificial intelligence. Please tell me, did anybody else do this? And they said, no, you're the only one. And that was the difficulty I had with getting others to understand. Because, see, I could see a long time ago that you don't have challenges or difficulties or problems that can't be overcome, because you just have to start to think and move in a different way and change your consciousness, which is called ascension. And we all move through it in different ways, or self actualization. And that's what this work turned out to be. And so what I did, because today was so dynamic, I did something else. I said, I'm going to give everyone, I wanted many more people to do this work, because what I know is that if you do this, you're going to feel so much better about yourself. You're going to understand who you are. You will move through all the fear and doubt and chaos that's currently happening in the world, because you'll transcend it. You'll start to do the thing that you came to the world to do, because everyone has something. It's within you. Mine was just different, and I had to go through my suffering and my failures and my all of that to be able to receive this information. But that was meant to give it to others so that you can evolve and become who you're meant to become. That's what it is. And listen, it was hard for me to believe this had happened, but I know that it did. So what I did was I created openings for people to come into this work, because I want more. I had one person do it today, but I'll leave that link too. And so I thought, if I can give people something where anyone can do it, anyone can afford it, because it's not that much. But what happens is you change your life. I'm going to talk about this because I put something up so you can understand why this works and how it works. The only difficulty any of us has is when we can't understand something about ourselves or about our world. And that evolves over time, and we all learn it in different ways. What I was doing is sitting down and receiving it, demonstrating it by feeling and having the healing, and then being able to give it to others. That's what we're all meant to do, just in different ways. But they said the United States was going to go through another energetic change because we had lost our way. And I was given the information that could be a counteraction to that, could give us a different way of looking at things. We were going to see a time where we would see separation and division and being put down and all of that. But I was given something that said, no, everyone has matters. Everyone has purpose. Everyone has value. All they have to do is find it. All they have to do is become willing to look beyond what they have seen and the limitations that have always existed within them and within our world. And that's what I was given. And so this is why I know this is hard for a lot of people to accept, because dealing with consciousness is not something that I ever thought I was going to do. I didn't know that I was going to be receiving this information, but that's what's happened. And I do know that it works for anyone. And as I said the other day, the only reason we would continue to struggle and suffer is that we're refusing to become ourselves. And that's what I was doing. So that's why I had to do this tonight, because yes, I did something very different than many other people. This is why I was not like the other channels. I can access your information very easily because you were born with a genetic DNA, a blueprint that's energetic. And that is the thing that was so different with the work that was coming through from Wilhelm, that I had trouble accepting or understanding. And we all do, because if we're doing something we've never done before, it can be uncomfortable. And we're all doing that, every single person. And so we'll look at the world and wonder what is happening. What is happening is that it's waiting for more of us to awaken to who we are and to move beyond fear and doubt, which is what we all have. And I had it. And that's why I knew I was being guided to do this tonight. And I didn't know why until I saw the whatever drama was happening in Washington, D.C., which I didn't know, but that was what was going to go on. We're bringing up all of our old stuff that's within us. It's not about out there. It's what's within us, and it's our fear, and it's our doubt about who we could become. And that's exactly what happened for me. And so I said, I can't do that anymore, because I want people to become authentic. I know who you can become. I know what you can achieve, because I had to sit and write it for forever. And 75 years old now. And so I have to take another journey, which is finishing this so more people can have it. But I needed to do this today because we'll see more events occurring. We're going to see more drama. We're going to see more of everything, but you don't have to. Because when you go inside, when you understand who you are and start to own it, it can be a process. It can be really uncomfortable, as it was for me. But when you get to the other side, it becomes very different. And that's what this work was. And I want you all to have it. And so I did something incredibly insane. I made offers to give people an opportunity to come into this work where, and I guarantee it, because what will happen is your life will change. You will never be the same person. You will start to see beyond your limitations. You will start to move beyond more of your doubts and fears. You won't do all of them at once, but it'll be a process and you'll move through them. And you'll start to understand that you are meant to have a great life, that you are meant to become abundant. Doesn't matter what you have thought about it up until this point. This will change your mind about that. And I do know, because that's what I went through. And I thought my entire life was going to be a mess and horrible, and I didn't understand. Felt like I was being punished. You may have felt that. Never happened. You are learning something, and this work has you mine it. It has you find it and has you bring it out. When I first started telling people that I had developed something that could change anyone's life and change our world, people said that's ridiculous. And I had to ask why. Because see, when you move over your fear and doubt, wouldn't that change your world? When you move over your fear of the world or what's happening out there, that would change things for you. And this information has done all of that. And it's taken so many years, 37 years for me to do it. And the first venture was when I wrote the book, Overcoming Fear, A Guide to Freedom, because that's the thing that keeps us back, that holds us all back, individually and as a world, because we will just be afraid to discover that next version of ourselves. So that's what I had to change. And that's what I'm doing now. So I wanted you to have this tonight. And I'm putting this up so that everyone can see it, because there is no reason for us not to live much better lives and have a much better world if we decide to love ourselves. That's all that it is. And when you think about that, people will say, well, how do you do that? Just look at every time you've been telling yourself something different than that. Every time you've been doubting who you could become. And I do know this because I've done it, so I can speak to it above, probably better than anyone, as that message said. But I'll give you something else, because now you'll see it in person. Because this message said, no one will believe me. That's how I felt in 2022. No one will believe me. And it was happening quite a bit. And then I beat myself up because I said I had to get over that and start working with those people who will believe me, because those are the people who are here now, who know that they have something to do, that they meant to bring to the world, that's going to make a difference, not only in their lives, but in the world. And then you start to feel much more important and empowered, and that leads to self-mastery. And that's what this work is about. And again, I'm just going to say it. I never would have believed I could have done it. And you will have the same thing about your life. We're supposed to, because otherwise, how could we create something new? How could we become brilliant or a genius if we knew it all and if we had done it before? It never happens. But then we have to look at when we get stuck, and I was stuck. But today just changed it all. So you'll see this information. I'll leave you all the links, and please share this with others, because I do want more people to come into this work, because we're having such a great time, and there's some beautiful people who have come into it recently, and it thrills me to no end to see what they are uncovering and doing. And one did an interview with me, which I think will be out in a couple of days. So I'll let you see that too, because that was a good time. And I don't remember what all that came through, but every time I do an interview, more information that I've been hiding will come through. We all do the same thing. So, but that's the gradual process of self-acceptance and self-mastery. And now I have something for you so you can achieve self-mastery, because it's within you. It's within all of us. Thank you all for being here. Oh, hi there. New there here. Greetings from California. Great to see you. Great. Oh, hey, Aaron. Great to see you. Yes, we are doing it. We're all doing it. Yes, please share this with others, because I do want more people to know. For years, the last 6 years now, when I've known that I had this and I had to just put it all together, because more people can become who they're meant to be now. That's why we're all here, and you have it within you. And I know you will have doubts about who you can become. We all do. But I will tell you that as a human person, you can change them all because you have a brain, you have consciousness, and we have skills, we have tools, and most of them I've written now. So you'll see that all. Okay, you guys, thank you so much. And I will leave the links for everything for you to see it. I'll put it with this video, and please share it with others because I do want more people to understand, to know what we are about and what you can achieve. Okay. Oh, more. Oh, please go into some more details about what you're offering and the transformation. Oh, what the transformation provides. Okay. I just thank you for that. I just made a link, a post that says, please read this before before you decide, explaining how it works. First of all, let me tell you what happened for me. I sat down every day for all of these years. It's been 37 years now, and I would sit and just receive information every single day, every morning, because I knew it was important for me to get in touch with something and change my brain. That's what I was doing, not understanding that what was happening is that I was doing developing a new way of using cognitive behavior training. So in the work, that's what happens. You come into the work and you receive what I call assignments, and they're just messages, things that I've received, and then just a little explanation of what came through, what I did, what happened. But then you do the work. And so many people now, it's so funny to see this, and I've talked about it. When people come into this and I give them an assignment. At first, I thought I was going to do them one a day. They can't do that because it's so much. They get in there and they start writing and they keep going, and it goes on for so long because they're uncovering so much about themselves. And then they start to feel differently because they're releasing these thoughts that they've been holding. So it's mindset again. It's the most powerful mindset course anyone has ever created. That's because everything is mindset. You hear people talking about it all the time. The difference is this was connected to the universe. This was organized and connected to the universe, which is what you are, which is why when I work with somebody, I have information on your birth date. That was something that was challenging for me to accept, but it's been proven true for so long. And so now I'm going to be developing more of that so we can all see we have much more ability to understand ourselves than we ever thought, than we ever knew. And this work was called the greatest contribution to human consciousness that we've seen in a while. And so now that's what's being completed. So what happens as you go through the work, as you go through every single day, you will just feel different. You will understand things. You will start to move through blockages, and you'll start to create the life you want. And then you'll start to release the blockages to finances as well, because that's all energetic. If you can't own yourself, how can you manifest anything else? And that was the first place that people needed to begin. And I said this years ago, when I saw people trying to get all these different jobs and going for different things, and they weren't working out, and they're wondering why. Well, probably because it wasn't aligned with who you are. It probably wasn't aligned with your authentic self and what you were really here to do, because most times we don't think we can do it. Just like me, I doubted my intuitive side for decades. And so now that's all I'm doing, because I know that it can be so helpful for so many people. And you'll see that in the information. But the fact is, this was just my role. It's just what I did. You will do more. And that's the one thing that my coach said to me like decades ago. You will do much more than I did. We should all understand that. We're all meant to take something from someone else, develop it, put our own stamp on it, and then create our own thing. That's what we're meant to do. And that's what's coming out of this work. And it's going to support so many people in creating something great in their lives because they have it within them. And that I do know. So that is what it is. And the transformation is okay, I'll give you a couple things. The transformation is surprising always, because you will not know that you had this information, this wisdom, this experience, this from everything that you've lived, because all you're going to start doing is changing your perceptions about all of it. And then you start to feel this energy, this surge of energy where you like are happy with yourself, where you want to get up in the morning, where you have more joy and happiness. And that's what it's about. And I can say that because, as you'll hear in a lot of the information, and more of this will be published, I had so many problems and depression and everything you could possibly imagine. I went through all of that for so much of my life. I had cluster headaches that I was able to cure and heal, which they said they were incurable. We can do so much more than we ever thought, because it's all in consciousness. So I hope that answers it. Yeah. On my, oh, great. Oh, thank you. You're working on your testimony. I love it. Thank you so much. And that's what I need. I'm going to do that more. I know if any of you who know me, I'm not a great marketer. I'm not a salesperson. I'm none of those things, because first of all, I have to know that things work before I will tell anyone. I have to know that they will give you a result. I've been that way my entire life. And then I'm not one to boast about it all. I moved over. People ask me why I got rid of all the celebrity clients that I used to work with, because I didn't want people to think that that's who you had to be. I didn't want any of that. I wanted every person to know that they have something that's valuable. They just have to decide that they're going to uncover it. That's all. We just all have been taught to be inadequate at some times, or that we're inconsequential, and that's never true. It's just the work that we do to move through the limitations which always exist in our consciousness. That's all. And we can change it all. And that's what we're doing in the world as well. Okay, thank you all so much, and great seeing you here. And I will put this up. The video will be there for everyone to see, and please share it with others. I do want more people to know. Thank you all so much.